Hello, everyone. Oh, I don't know why it cuts off every time like that now. Oh, I fixed it. There it is. I had it muted. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Happy Friday to the best little corner, a itty bitty little corner of the internet, where we host your most coveted favorite and possibly the best podcast in the world. Definitely better than some of them that I won't name. GameStack podcast right here on We Just Love Games Network. I'm your co-host Vendertron, and joining me this evening, as always, is the illustrious Shaline. Hello, Shaline.
Hello.
How are you, my dear?
I'm okay. I guess I'm doing pretty good actually. I had some problems during the week at work. Like I had some work issues, but I resolved both of them today. So it was
a
lot of work.
Tell me more. Was there a spider?
It's not very interesting. No,
okay.
it's not an exciting work issue. It's a lots of emails back and forth type of issue. And as per my last email,
yes, and then somebody replies all to it, and you're like,
yeah. Oh my goodness.
So it's actually really been a week, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a week. Yeah. But today was good. I got off work a little bit early because my workplace is kind. And it was nice. So I got to spend a little time with Archon before the show, hanging out. Yeah. So
before he heads off to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's now good. I get to hang out with you.
Of course, yes. Yeah.
It's a good day.
Excellent. Well, How
are you?
I had a pretty decent week. It's been super busy. I finished one of the biggest phases of a big scoping review that I'm working on with multiple people. I had to go through 33 scientific papers and read them and pull all of the data from them into a giant Excel spreadsheet, which was like 2 weeks of work. So today marks the last of that.
That sounds like absolutely no fun at all.
It was painful. Yeah. It's very tedious work. It takes a long time. It takes me about 30 to 40 minutes to do one. So, yeah. And when you squish it in the week with all the other meetings and administrative stuff, then it's like really you're only getting like 10 or 15 done a week. So, yeah.
That also feels like not the kind of job that you can do like with a podcast running in the background.
No, actually, well, I do it with some movies that I've seen like a billion times.
Where you can shut off your brain.
Yeah, you can watch it in your head. But I did get some really good news this week. Back in March, I applied for a role with the Public Health Agency of Canada. And yesterday, I got an email from them saying that I was selected to move forward as a candidate. And I now have to do this crazy exam. The exam is 5 questions, but they're like, it'll probably take you like 15 hours to do the exam and you have 1 week to do it. I tried doing the first question today. I spent 3 hours on it and I'm only like halfway done. The first question.
That's intense.
And I'm like, okay, it's not 15 hours, but that's okay. I don't know.
But
maybe I'm just a perfectionist.
Congratulations on advancing, though. It sounds like a kind of a big deal.
Well, with a federal job, making it to this stage is usually a big deal because you more often than not get weeded out. So, yeah.
Well, I'm absolutely thrilled for you, friend.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know if there's going to be I'm curious what the outcome of the interview will be and whether or not I'd be able to negotiate like a part-time position because I still got a PhD to do and finish that. And that's priority number 1. So if they're willing to meet me halfway. And I submitted on the application and indicated that I hadn't actually finished my degree yet. So
right. So they would know that you were wanting to continue to pursue
that. They either knew that moving me into the next phase or they didn't read my application at all. So we'll find out. But
either one is equally possible, really.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's been a good week. I'm glad to be here with all of you lovely people doing a show. You are listening to episode 152, Irresponsibly Large. And we are also sponsored by Oak & Crow Coffee. If you head on over to oakandcrow.com, you can pick up a bag of We Just Love Coffee blend, and $2 from every purchase of that blend goes to the Children's Miracle Network. Don't forget to tell your friends about the show. Get people down here on a Friday evening, and come and join the live recording. It's always nice to have people in the chat. If you miss it, that's okay. Don't worry. You can listen to it after the fact on all of the various podcast platforms. And kudos to you, Shaline, for ever so diligently posting the show like hours after we had finished. Like, I was so impressed.
Yeah, I try not to get behind again. So
yeah, it's
our listeners deserve better.
Yeah. I mean, you said it, not me.
I mean, yeah, life is life, but I'm trying for you guys.
Speaking of our listeners, they are all gathered in the Discord as well, our chat after dark. And this week has been pretty lively. Lots of posts in the Plants channel and the Companions channel, as well as we now have news that Sully is recovered. He had his surgery and he's feeling much better. So he's thanking everybody for the warm wishes as well. How can people join?
That is very excellent news.
How can people join our Discord?
You can join the Discord by clicking the link on our Twitch page over at twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. That link is live whether or not the show is. So any time of the day or night, twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGame. Click on that link and you will be in part of our Discord.
I feel like for Pride Month, we need to name the next episode We Just Love Gays.
Yeah, I'm down.
Like,
we love them too.
Just popped into my mind. Sorry, we'll table that.
I mean, we absolutely do.
Here we are doing the show on the show once again. We have some news for you this evening, and we're gonna go through the stocks. I think Shaline has a special Fallout segment. Is that correct?
Yeah, slightly. It's part of the news.
And also, we're going to cap things off with what the community is playing, screenshots and stories, and our gameplay. So let's hop right in with this just in. All yours, Shaline.
Thank you. As always, shout out to Joseph Tao. We really appreciate the work you do in helping us compile the news every week. And I am going to start out with that little that Fallout segment. I felt like we were due for a Fallout segment, and this one in particular is going to be Fallout 76 focused, because 76 has had a pretty major update recently. Yes, and I thought it was worth diving into just a bit. It's called the Once in a Blue Moon update. It went live on June 20th, so that's just this week. And this is a Blue Ridge Caravan focused update. The Blue Ridge Caravan is back and needs your help with its expanding business. Our Once in a Blue Moon update introduces 2 new cryptids, public events, side quests, rewards, a daily ops mutation, and more. So I'm just going to scroll through some of the highlights of these patch notes. There are some new public events. Vinny Costa is the head of operations for the Blue Ridge Caravan Company. He's impatient with the members of his caravan and thinks they are not working hard enough. So you can work with those caravan members to get them back up to speed and earn some Blue Ridge Caravan themed items as a reward. The first new public event is called Beasts of Burden. After a trade deal gone wrong, Luca Costa finds himself in need of some help. A group of local cultists has stolen his Brahmin and cargo of makeshift explosives. His uncle Vinny will not be happy if he catches wind of it. The problem is he's injured and cannot get the supplies himself. So he will contact you via radio as you infiltrate the cultist's den, blow the doors to get in, reclaim his pack Brahmin, and get the pack Brahmin loaded up with his cargo. And this pack Brahmin is named Mona Lisa.
Oh, that's so good.
It's perfection. It's perfection. I did this event. I've only played one session with the new update. So I've only played this event once, but it is a fun event. There are loads of cultists.
Okay. And 2 things I fully expect to see in this. First of all, the addition of Blue Moon to the radio.
Oh, that would be so good. I don't know if they did that.
And some sort of reference to Benny.
That would be great.
Although I recognize the whole wolf motif. So maybe not. But I feel like they need to nod to that. But then again, that's Obsidian, so I don't know.
They have also, at the end of this quest, you see one of the 2 new cryptids, the Agua. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. It's spelled Ogua, and who knows how that's pronounced. Not I for sure. But this cryptid is like a big old snapping turtle. And it's great. He's adorable. He's like a dinosaur. It's like having a dinosaur in the wasteland. I love it. And I am told by a very reliable source that one of the rewards.
I am sorry. There is an ad playing, and I don't know how to get.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That is an exciting ad for root beer right there. That is some dramatic music.
I'm just gonna go ahead and nix the mixer's audio for stupid Google Chrome.
I don't know about you, but I really would like some root beer now. So
it's like that Cashmere Tissues commercial.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so for our listeners, we're going off on a tangent here. We'll get back to the Agua in a moment. Yesterday, I'm sitting there and I'm watching TV, and this commercial comes on, and it's like all of these like heartfelt images of like people holding hands and kissing and like fighting and divorce and like mental health therapy and growing old together and having babies and family stuff, and it was all like heartfelt, and I'm like starting to tear up. Right?
It was really intense.
And I'm like, what's going on with this? What is this? What is this commercial? And then all of a sudden at the end, it was like Cashmere Tissues. It was like something life is messy and love is messier. And I was like, that is the best damn advertising I have ever seen, as I was like reaching for a tissue because like
the Kleenex
was, like so good.
You needed one by the end of that ad.
Anyways, yeah, good advertising.
That's
now
so
Shaline
funny.
wants a root beer. Back to the Agua.
Well, I am told that one of the rewards for this is a backpack skin that is the turtle shell.
Oh my gosh.
And I have plans to combine this with the superhero mask and become a Ninja Turtle. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yes, I'm so excited to be a Ninja Turtle.
Are there perks to the turtle? Like, does it increase your carry weight or something like that?
It's just a skin. Your backpack has whatever, you've done to mod it. So it's the same. It's just a skin. But I'm absolutely going to become the first Ninja Turtle of the Wasteland. Probably not the first. I'm sure somebody else thought of this already and has gotten this stuff. But the other public event is called Safe and Sound. And do you remember the Middle Mountain Cabins location? It was this location kind of in the middle of the forest. And there were a lot of messages. The lore of that area was that there was this basically Boy Scout troop leader trying to keep his little scouts alive. And it was a bad time. It was a bad time because the bombs had dropped, et cetera, et cetera. And now this area has been completely revamped, and you can still read through those terminal entries, but they are buried a layer deeper in the terminal.
Oh,
and
okay.
Now Blue Ridge is using this area. They have a general store and a pub and like a little bed and breakfast area there. And they have a repeller, like a creature repeller speaker system. And in this public event, it has been damaged, and you have to protect the repeller while it comes back up and keeps the creatures away from the area.
Nice.
And at the end of this one, you get to meet the second cryptid, which is called I've forgotten what it's called, the Blue Devil. I believe the Blue Devil is what it is called. And it's basically a werewolf, a big old werewolf. And yeah, that's that.
A werewolf?
It has the same, a werewolf, yes. Please don't tease me.
I just have to fill in for Rick when he's not here.
And it is a big old werewolf. And I've completely lost my train of thought.
Sorry. I'm also filling for Rick on that front.
It has that same effect that the big Wendigo has, where it terrifies you and you go running away. So it's kind of fun it adds a level to the fight.
And so you've only played just a little bit of it before the show tonight.
Yes, I played each of those public events once.
Oh, so they must not be very long then. Well, I mean, you've been on since 3.
Well, they're public events. The public events usually last for a few minutes. You know, it's like 5 to 10 minutes usually for a public event.
Okay.
So, Vinny Costa has got some new business daily quests, and these daily quests, it's a series of 7. You can do one quest each day, but these, you can only do them once. Most of the daily quests can be repeated basically ad nauseum, but these are a story, and you can only go through that story one time. And there are some branching paths that can be taken in the dialogue and the actions that you choose, based on my experience watching people who are playing it during the public test server. So that's pretty neat. And there are also those new cryptids. You can find them outside of the new public events as well. You can find them in some of the existing public events, and you can find them just out in the world. So it's pretty neat that they're part of the world now.
Yeah.
There are new rewards. It's a new season of Scoreboard, season 13. This one is Hollywood themed, and all new rewards. And the Daily Ops has added a new mutation called Danger Cloud. Enemies have seeds embedded in their skin, and they will radiate a spore cloud that damages the player. So that reduces your AP regen and your max AP. So you want to be careful to avoid those.
What kind of themes come with Hollywood theme in Fallout?
Well, there are movie posters and some. There was one of the ones that I unlocked today was a concession stand board, you know, where you put in the little letters to, yeah. And it's that kind of thing. There's a red curtain doorway.
Is there a red carpet? I would hope.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
They've also made some pretty major changes to some things.
Like what?
Well, one of the biggest ones is how they're approaching expeditions. Expeditions were accessed via an ultrasight battery charge. It took 3 daily quests to get your ultrasight battery charge up to 100%, and then you were able to fly the vertibird and go to your expedition. And the team leader had to have a fully charged battery for you to be able to go. They've removed that requirement. So now you can start your expedition at any time without completing those daily quests. So the need for those is removed.
Oh, that's good.
Those quests still exist, and you can get some general daily quest rewards, like, the same kind of things that you get for other daily quests. They have also drastically reduced the stamp cost when you buy items from Giuseppe, the stamp vendor. And I think that's a really good thing, because Giuseppe's prices were out of control. Some of his stuff was just ridiculous.
Inflation.
Ridiculous. But he has slashed his prices, so you can actually afford some things now without just grinding expeditions constantly. And Ashes to Fire is the more difficult of the 2 expeditions that exists right now. Now it grants an increased number of stamps and legendary items to reflect the fact that it is the more difficult of the 2 expeditions.
Okay.
I'm not going to go through all of these fiddly weapon and armor changes, because I feel like that's a little too specialized for a general gaming podcast. But I will say they have moved the fanfare for when you get a legendary item. It no longer fills the entire center of your screen. Now it's tucked neatly into the corner, and they've made the font more readable. And it's a huge improvement, and I love it so much.
I don't understand how they
so much better
still make those sort of screen real estate faux pas. Like, this late in the game, you're still putting intrusive stuff. People don't like that. They've told that to you time and time again, and you're still doing it, and you're still having to fix it. Stop that.
Yes. And Casey the Curator in the chat says there's also an FPS boost. That's right. It's running at a higher FPS on consoles, I believe, as well as PC, or it may just be consoles. But
I'm not sure.
I've heard some chat that it is pretty noticeable difference. Huh. So, I think I will leave it there. The patch notes are up on Bethesda.net if you are interested in all of those fiddly weapon and ammo, armor changes, etc., etc. I definitely read through the whole thing, and I feel like while I definitely want more from Fallout 76 in terms of new story content, I am very pleased with the fact that they are continuing to work on this game, to create new content for this game.
Yeah.
And even though this is not like a huge update, it's neat because there's new lore. You know, I can visit these locations and explore them as if they're brand new because they have changed.
I wonder what kind of profit Microsoft is pulling in from Fallout 76.
You know, I think it must be pretty decent because the player base is only going up. Yeah. They I feel like everybody, the launch of Fallout 76 was so disastrous and it has stuck in everyone's mind, and that is what everyone associates with this game. But I feel like we have left that time far behind.
Yes.
And the player base is only growing because the community is absolutely fantastic. And even though I'm personally in a place right now where I want to spend less time with the game because I'm having some burnout with it.
It's come a long way. Yeah.
It had, there, if you are a new player coming in right now, holy smokes, there's so much to do. There is so much to do.
It's like a traditional Fallout game.
Yes, this would be the perfect time, guys. If you're out there and you haven't tried Fallout 76, I feel like now's the time. Give it a try.
Yeah.
And I'm very pleased with that. And the player base is only going up and up. Those number counts just get higher. And you'd think this far into the cycle of the game that they'd be dropping, but absolutely not. So
you're gonna play it after the show?
I might actually, yeah, I might. I would like to finish. I just kind of logged out in the middle of exploring the new Middle Mountain cabins. I've only been into one of the buildings. There are 2 other buildings to go through. The girl who runs the general store has this like set of overalls and they have flowers embroidered on them.
And you're like, I need these.
I'm told that if I do the quests, I can get a pair. And I'm so excited.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
I love it.
So it's very fun. I may have to pick that back up and go check it out.
Oh, excellent.
But I may also instead just boot up my Switch because there's so much to do in the land of Nintendo. And that brings us to our next article. So last week we talked a lot about the Not Quite E3 announcements, but the Not E3 announcements didn't end. We had a Nintendo Direct this week, and it was a good one. It was a really good one. I want to go through the announcements. Some of these were very exciting to me.
Okay.
It was a 40-minute Nintendo Direct.
Hold the phone because
what happened?
I got to cue these things as you talk about them. Okay, go.
Okay, we're going to start with Super Mario Brothers Wonder. This was the final thing that was announced. This was the one more thing, and it looks absolutely amazing. I was really excited for this game. It is a new 2D Mario game, and it will be released on Switch on October the 20th, and that's not very far in the future.
That's it. I'm getting a Switch. I'm getting
look at how brilliant this is. Look at how brilliant it is.
This is, remember how I was saying I think I want to get a Switch so I can play Super Mario Brothers?
This one has 4-player co-op. Princess Daisy is one of the playable characters.
Oh my
I feel like
God.
Daisy is a really overlooked princess. You know, she's a great princess in her own right.
Oh, that's right. You're not wrong there. Yeah.
Yes. And the gameplay on this just looks so smooth, and it looks like something that feels familiar but also fresh.
Yeah,
and
it's great.
I
love
want
this.
it. I want it as soon as possible. Inject it directly into my veins.
You know, they're gonna see a bump in console purchases because of this game.
And I feel like the time for this game is ripe because of the Mario movie.
Yeah.
I feel like a new Mario game, a new traditional 2D Mario game is just going to be.
Did you see
Isn't that great? There are so many.
Wiener
He
Dog
stretched
Mario.
out. Yes. There are so many new abilities and different things going on. And you can choose from Mario, Luigi, Toad, Princess Peach, Princess Daisy, and Yoshi. And the world map looks so traditional. I love that. And at the end of this trailer, Mario actually picks up a power-up that turns him into an elephant. Do you remember Cat Mario?
Yes.
Well, this game introduces
Mario?
Elephant Mario. Yes, the bar. Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm totally getting. That's it. This is the
I
deciding
would love
factor.
to play this with you. I think that would be absolutely brilliant
to play together, right?
Yes, and we could gently troll each other. It would be wonderful. And look, at the end of this, they've gotten to the end of the stage, and look, it's the little Toad power-up house. The little Toad power-up house. Isn't that great?
It's gonna happen,
so great.
You guys.
Wait, I want you to see the elephant. Don't click off of it yet.
Oh, okay.
This is absolutely selfish. I just want you to see the elephant power up.
Look at it.
And Mario grabs it.
Oh my gosh, it's Mario Babar.
Oh, it's so good. So good. I can't wait to play this game.
Oh, I love it. I love that. That is so awesome.
Goodness gracious.
Oh,
okay.
I am thoroughly impressed. Okay. Let's
along.
Keep going. This is exciting.
This was a great direct for Mario fans. The Super Mario RPG has been they've announced a remake of Super Mario RPG. It will be done on November 17th, 2023. That was a weird way to say that, but it launches on November 17th, 2023, and it looks really, really good. This it looks brilliant. It looks brilliant. Super Mario RPG is of course it's a very different game than your traditional Mario game, but it is highly lauded as a classic, and it looks so good. It looks so good, the remake. I want it. So
we have Princess Peach here with some butterflies and lily flowers, and then Mario pops out of this
little shack. I don't know why he's living in that horrible house.
And then
I guess
now
being a
it's
plumber
like
doesn't pay
isometric
that well.
kind of. I like this. Yeah, that's fun.
But it is legit an RPG, so that's pretty cool. Huh. I'm definitely excited to check this out.
You gonna play this too? Yeah.
I want to play them both. We'll see. Time being time. But I do want to play all of these games. I really do. I've been very strongly on the Nintendo.
You're gonna come down with train. Mario Gnosis.
And like there was Birdo. Birdo is so
Who is this guy with the cape? I've never seen him.
I don't know.
Before.
He's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
I think now's a good time to show you.
Okay.
Bring back the red shell. Oh yeah.
Ah, yes! Look at you.
I want to cut the string off, and then when I have it at the office, I can just throw it at people.
That would be so good.
Right?
So good. Is it a plush?
Oh yeah, it's plush. It's not like
oh, thank goodness.
hard.
I thought it was like ceramic and you were just gonna be like, ugh!
I mean, if it was, I'd still throw it, but all right. What else we got?
Okay, our next item was something I was the most excited about. I've been waiting for this for so long. Detective Pikachu 2.
Oh gosh.
Yes. Remember how much I loved Detective Pikachu on the 3DS?
Yes.
I was obsessed with this game.
It for months.
I was obsessed with it.
Definitely, yes.
My giant Detective Pikachu amiibo is one of my prized possessions, right next to my wedding suit Bowser amiibo and wedding dress Peach that you sent me. But Detective Pikachu, I love this game so much. They left it on a very, very excellent opening for a sequel. and then they just wandered away and
Oops.
never mentioned it again. But now we are getting a Detective Pikachu sequel on October 6th of 2023. So I have marked this date in my calendar, and I will be playing this day one. I'm so excited for Detective Pikachu 2.
I'm very excited for you.
Yes.
I'm actually excited to hear you talk about it because
mm-hmm.
It's always awesome when you talk about games that you love and you get so excited about them.
The first one was just adorable. It was adorable, and meeting all the Pokemon and seeing the people with their own chosen partner Pokemon and how they related to each other. And it was also like a gritty detective story with this coffee guzzling, deep voiced Pikachu. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. So good. Moxie in the chat says, "Don't worry, Shaline. I love it too."
I think I'm sure if I played it, I'd be like, this is actually pretty good.
It's so darn cute. It's so darn cute, Vendor. And it's like a little adventure style game. You know, you go and you question the people and the Pokemon, and you solve crimes. So good.
Mm-hmm.
The Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 1 has been confirmed for Nintendo Switch. This includes Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, and Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater.
Oh.
Yeah, Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, and Snake's Revenge. So that is a lot of Metal Gear wrapped up into one tasty volume. And watching this, I've never played these older Metal Gear games. I played some Metal Gear 5. It was not a game that I finished. But watching the trailer for this collection made me feel like these games are likely going to hold up. I feel like that is some solid stealth gameplay, and I think I would enjoy these. They have an.
I was just gonna say I don't know if I've played Metal Gear Solid, but this is like Tim's this is like his thing, right? No,
I don't
Diablo
remember.
is his thing.
I don't remember Tim ever talking about Metal Gear. I don't know if he's played them. I know Rick is big on the Metal Gear series. When he uses that Fox die handle, it is related to the Metal Gear series in some way. So earlier I was talking about some of my prized possession amiibo.
Yes.
Well, some new amiibo were also announced at the Nintendo Direct. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom launched alongside a new Link amiibo. But this holiday season, we will also be getting a Zelda amiibo in the same collection and a Ganondorf amiibo. And boy, is Ganon swole. He is shirtless, he is buff, and the Ganondorf amiibo is like a very, very slightly obscene.
I'm trying to play it here for you guys, but there it is. There it is.
Okay, there's the Link one that's already out. And there is Zelda. I feel like her foot positioning is very odd.
Yeah.
And there is Swole Ganondorf. So
I love it.
He did not skip leg day or arm day or chest day or any of the days. Yes, he is on the program. And WarioWare returns with WarioWare: Move It. This will bring micro games to the Switch this November. These are very active micro games in which you use your Joy-Con, much like the Wiimote and Nunchuck of yore.
Oh, I like that.
You use the motion sensor abilities of.
Did you see that guy with the shaking his butt?
Yes,
that was cute.
These are full body motion situations to complete these micro games, and it looks like a very silly good time. I feel like this will be great for families, and definitely a fun party game. Something great to do with your friends and your family. Yeah, these are going to be some shenanigans.
Cute.
Pikmin 4 got new details in gameplay. I've never played a Pikmin. It looks bloody wonderful. Just absolutely brilliant. These little adorable flower guys.
Maybe now is your time, Shaline.
I feel like it might be. This game is so cute. It's just so cute. And there's a cute dog.
Look at this
cute spaceman.
Oh,
that is the dog. And look at wait until you get to see these little plant guys. They're so cute. Look at that guy. Look at him. The little leaf
What
on
is
his
he
head.
is he like a radish or something?
I don't know. He's a Pikmin. And there's the
Ochi.
doggo, Ochi. And there are different varieties of Pikmin that have different abilities and personalities.
I love it.
Like they've got little daisies on their heads. I love
Oh my
them.
gosh. Oh,
I
you
love
just
them
pluck
so
them out of the ground like
much.
that? That's so cute.
Yes.
Oh, I like it. And you can have little, like, millions of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the premise of Pikmin?
I've got no idea. You now know as much about Pikmin as I do.
Okay. Okay. Well,
But it looks
if you're
fabulous.
listening, write into the show and tell us about Pikmin and what you
Please
like or
explain
don't like
Pikmin
about
to
it.
us.
Although I love this like miniature like the everything in the world is
Mm-hmm.
like enlarged.
Right.
I'm getting It Takes Two vibes. Yeah.
Very much so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, look at
And
this Ode to the Game
they've
Boy
got a Game
Advance.
Boy Advance.
That's great.
It's definitely these games are part of the Shigeru Miyamoto stable.
Mm-hmm.
So there must be some level of brilliance there because that man's a genius.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Exactly.
if you like me are curious about Pikmin, you can check out HD versions of Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2 right now as those launched on the Nintendo Swatch. The Nintendo Switch eShop the day of the direct. So you can check those out anytime. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are getting some paid DLCs that will also be available if you have the Nintendo Switch Online membership, the deluxe version of the membership. And these look pretty cool. I've never played a proper Pokemon game. I've played like Pokemon Go. I've played Detective Pikachu. But of course, these are a more traditional Pokemon game.
Right.
And you'll be traveling to new areas and battling new Pokemon and capturing new Pokemon. And it looks like a pretty good time. There were some Pokemon trainers that have this really weird bangs, these very emo bangs hanging down over their noses. Really strange. Really strange hairstyle choice.
You haven't played
in
too
my
much
opinion.
Pokemon on your Switch, have you?
No. I've the only Pokemon games I've played are Pokemon Go and Detective Pikachu.
Oh,
So.
okay.
Mm-hmm. Are you much of a Pokemon fan, Bender?
I used to be when I was younger, but I kind of grew out of it, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8 is getting a new course. It is and they're also getting some new characters from Mario Kart Double Dash, Petey Piranha, and from Mario Kart 7, Wiggler, and from Mario Kart Tour, Kamek. I may have mispronounced that, but he's the little wizard guy from the Mario movie. So
Okay.
pretty fabulous. It looks like a fun time.
I love Mario Kart. You know what's really funny is that Carlo and I played Mario Kart in California over Christmas break because he brought his Switch with him, and I'm really bad at it.
Yes.
Like I was like an expert in Mario Kart. I feel like an old man now because I was like, back in my day, I used to be so good at this.
That's
And
great.
I had no idea what I was doing. Like I was just like always in last place. It was terrible.
Well, I am not great at Mario Kart, but I love Mario Kart. So I will play you in Mario Kart and I think we'll be a better match. Yeah.
Yes.
It'll be really good.
We'll hone our skills.
Yes. And Luigi's Mansion: Dark Moon is getting a remaster. This was a Nintendo 3DS game. It will be coming in 2024. It looked really good. I've heard excellent things about this game. Moxie in the Discord was very excited about this one. And we will also be getting a Princess Peach game. They did not give us much information about the Princess Peach game at all. We really don't know anything about it, just that it stars Peach and it will be coming in 2024.
Okay.
And in some third-party Nintendo news, Vampire Survivors will be coming to Switch in August. Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince is coming to Nintendo Switch. Sonic Superstars got a new gameplay trailer. This game we saw at one of the other showcases. It may have been the Xbox showcase. Yeah. And it still looks fabulous.
That's going to be on Switch. That's awesome.
Yes, I think that'll be a good
now
fit for the console.
Double buy like an extra.
Yes. Definitely buy a Switch. I want to play these games with you.
Should I get one like pretty soon? Or should I wait until they launch like the Mario version and get like the Mario version?
How important is that to you to have like a special version?
Not important at all. But do we
then
expect
get one
new
now?
Tech?
Not really. Not really.
I feel like the OLED version is like what it's going to be.
I think so. I think the OLED version is what we have until they're ready to move on from the Switch altogether.
Yeah. Okay.
So, okay. I think it is the final form. Batman Arkham Trilogy will be coming to Nintendo Switch. All three of the Rocksteady Batman games, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. They will be releasing on Switch this fall, and all of the DLC will arrive with these games. And Star Ocean, the second story R, was announced for 2023. That is a JRPG. Persona 5 Tactica, we also saw that at the Microsoft Showcase. It will also be coming to Switch. And Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope will be set on a musical planet. Splatoon 3 is getting a new Splatfest. Just Dance is apparently still releasing games.
And apparently has a partnership with Nintendo now?
They've always been on Nintendo.
Have they always been?
Always. They were still releasing Just Dance on the Wii up until like last year. Wow. I am not kidding. And Palia
that's why they moved to Switch. Right?
Yes.
Wow.
Palia is a game that I think looks really interesting. It is a cozy, free-to-play adventure game that lets you create the life of your dreams. And it has the MMO feel of being able to hang out in public spaces with your friends, but it looks like a very low-stakes video game. You can fish, you can adventure and explore.
Did I hear fish? Did you say fish?
You heard fish. Yeah, you can fish. Or you can just hang out at home and craft things and enjoy your life, hang out with your friends.
I love this, and we have to play it.
I thought this game would appeal to you. I really did. I like that it has the feel of an MMO, but the stakes are very, very low. It's the kind of game where you just kind of do your thing, live your life, and enjoy yourself.
It's Animal Crossing, but like
Elders, in a fantasy setting,
in like a fantasy type. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think this looks worth checking out, and it's free to play, so it will depend on if the monetization is predatory or not, but we'll see. Penny's Big Breakaway is a colorful new 3D platformer. They had a Fae Farm trailer. We also saw that on the Xbox Showcase. Let's see here. Okay, I wanted to talk about this one briefly. Headbangers Rhythm Royale is a rhythm-based battle royale game in which you play as a pigeon against other pigeons in a series of different mini games. And they are all rhythm-based, and I think it looks like a pretty good time.
Headbangers Rhythm Royale Pigeon Edition.
Yes, look at these pigeons.
Oh my gosh, look at them.
30 pigeon music battles. In that one with the piano keys, that game, it's a FPS, a first piano shooter.
Look at the pigeons on the treadmills.
Yes, it's so cute. And I think it looks really clever and cute and different, and I think it would be a fun time.
Brilliant. I love it.
I don't usually go for the party style games, but I just have a good feeling about this one.
Yeah, and it looks like I'm wondering if like you get all kinds of cosmetics and like these are all the different outfits, right? So
I
for your
think there are a
pigeon,
ton of
like
customization options for your pigeon.
it's basically Fall Guys.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds me of Fall Guys. Cute.
Yes, with a little bit of PUBG, except the P is for pigeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Player.
Create the pigeon of your dreams.
Pigeons Unknown Battlegrounds. Hey, you may be onto something. You may be onto something.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like they probably should have called it that instead as like a jab at PUBG.
So funny.
And then then we'd be reporting on lawsuits and it would just
It's definitely I definitely foresee a new game of the year coming our way.
Let's not get carried away.
There were a couple of other minor announcements at the Nintendo Direct. I'm gonna skip them and move on.
You know, this manic mechanic looks like it would be fun. It's a 4-player co-op, and you repair vehicles as fast as you can. How fun would that be? Stop stealing my hammer! Get back here! That's my hammer! Get back here!
Like a mechanic version of Overcooked.
Yeah, Overcooked, or like Iron Chef. Is that what it is? Because everybody has their own car, it looks like. So, yeah. That is a great lineup. Great lineup.
I thought it was a fantastic showcase. Loads of exciting things. There are at least like 5 games on that list that I really, really want to buy and play.
Yeah, so. Palia definitely one of them. And the Super Mario Brothers Wonder is like top of the list, right? So
Super Mario Brothers Wonder, I am sold so hard on that game. It looks so good. It looks so good.
Let's make it happen.
And Palia is not something that I would play alone, but if I had a friend that I knew was going to play it also, I would absolutely jump in there with you. No hesitation.
Yeah.
So moving on into the rest of the news, we may have to cut some of these stories because there's a lot of news. I did want to briefly touch on the Microsoft Activision lawsuit situation. Of course, Microsoft is attempting to acquire Activision, and it has been somewhat blocked. But we haven't been talking about it because I'm frankly tired of talking about it. But every week, Joseph Tao has got a whole section of articles about it. I felt like we did need to jump into it just a bit, give you guys an update. This has been big news. And with this court case, we've learned things about what Microsoft is working on, what Bethesda is working on. And we've learned a lot of behind the scenes secrets from watching this court case. Exhibit K is in an email that was brought forward. This email is basically posed as evidence that this acquisition is an attempt to eliminate PlayStation.
Really?
Yes. And the lawyers who are trying to block this deal call this uncontroverted evidence that Microsoft had the intention to put its main competition, the Sony PlayStation, out of the market. And much of this message is redacted, but the plaintiffs say it was sent by Microsoft's head of Xbox Game Studios, Matt Booty, to Microsoft's chief financial officer for Xbox, Tim Stewart. And the email is an internal exchange. Microsoft is saying it needs to remain sealed, and that it has no bearing on the court's decisions. But a Microsoft representative told Axios that the company cannot legally share the email's contents, but it was sent by Booty in 2019. So this was definitely a precursor to the attempt to buy Xbox.
Interesting.
Yes, I find this so interesting. And I also thought it was really funny that the same week that this article came out, there was news that Xbox was saying that PlayStation has won the console wars. And that feels very much like a, oh, poor me. Oh, please pity me. And please don't look over there at these terrible things we've done. Just I'd like you to focus on this and feel sorry for us. I feel like it's silly to assume that they weren't trying to eliminate PlayStation. Of course they want to control the market. Of course they do.
Absolutely. It's Microsoft.
Yes.
It's Microsoft. Like,
I just we're gonna leave it there. We're not gonna go through everything because we could do a whole podcast just about the Microsoft Activision acquisition.
A whole podcast.
Yes. I mean a whole podcast series, not episode. Okay. We could come back every week and do a full episode on this. But we're not going to. I just wanted to give you guys an update and basically use some of Joseph's weekly work in gathering these stories to keep us informed.
He works very hard.
So Final Fantasy 16 came out, reviewed very well. And they actually, Square Enix, they made a sword and displayed it at the Tower of London. It is a replica of a Final Fantasy 16 sword, and it's rad. It looks really cool. They had it forged in real life, and the exhibition will last for a month. It marks a partnership with the Royal Armories.
Okay.
So I just thought this was so neat.
I just want to pull this image up because
it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. These dudes in these hats. This marks the first time, according to Square Enix, that a sword created from a video game has ever been housed in the Royal Armories alongside armor once owned by kings.
Look at this thing. Okay, so this is the Queen's Guard.
Look at their hats.
I seen these guys when I was there. They're pretty cool.
Bloody wonderful.
Yeah, look at that sword. That's wild. So that's where it's gonna stay?
For a month. I don't know what they're going to be doing with it permanently. It's only gonna stay here for a month. Huh. So yeah,
that's cool.
People are saying great things about Final Fantasy 16. So
yeah, we're hearing lots of good reports about that lately.
It looks pretty cool. Mm-hmm. You know what else looks pretty cool? Starfield. Starfield looks pretty cool.
Okay, we're gonna talk about Starfield now.
Yes. Did you want to talk about something else?
No, instead? I'm just warning people because that's probably going to be the rest of the show.
So we have a couple of articles that I wanted to dive into. This first one is a Kotaku article by Ethan Gack. The source for I think both of these is an interview that Todd Howard did with Kind of Funny on the Kind of Funny X cast. And Todd Howard basically was talking about what you're going to find on the 1,000 planets of Starfield. It sounds impressive and also like a nightmare, according to this article, and that is basically how I felt about it. I'm strongly concerned that all 1,000 of these places cannot be interesting. And the article reads, what if instead of a dozen bespoke locations, the open world sci-fi RPG was scattered across hundreds of lifeless rocks filled with the same old stuff? And director Todd Howard suggested somewhere in the middle. And he stated that many of the planets will have resources, but be pretty barren, while about 10% of them will fit in the Goldilocks sweet spot that is capable of sustaining varied life. And instead of every planet feeling the same, the differences are meant to encourage players to keep exploring. And here's a quote from Todd Howard. We wanted to do the planets because we like to give you that choice. Where do you want to go? Because we feel like you want that choice in a game like this, Howard said, noting that the team struggled with the challenge of including 1,000 planets. Now, obviously, it's procedural. There's no way we're going to go and handcraft an entire planet. There is a suite of individual locations that has been made by the team, and those will be generated or placed when players land on a planet, depending on what type it is. And when you first approach a specific solar system, they'll be making choices about where to go based on what they're looking to find. Some planets will be lifeless, but that's kind of the point. I think it is a moment when you land on some of these barren planets, and again, we will generate certain things for you to find on them. But if you look at a planet, you see the resources, it has things you want. There is, I love the Buzz Aldrin quote, the magnificent desolation. I think there's a certain beauty to landing on those and feeling I'm one of the only people or the only person to ever visit this planet. So, what do you think of that? How do you feel about it?
Well, okay, you said 10% is the sweet spot?
Yeah, 10% will be capable of sustaining life.
Okay, so if my math checks out, if 10% of the planets have life that is sustainable, then the probability of you finding a planet that has life is like very rare.
Yeah.
Because we're talking like 100 planets, 100 out of 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like the probability of you finding a planet that is devoid of life is like 90%.
Right.
So that makes me wonder. It could go either way, and it'll probably go all ways, in the sense that there's going to be people that play it that are going to grow tired of exploring desolate planets and never finding life. And then there's going to be other people who get so excited about finding that one planet after looking forever that
right.
it's totally going to change the game for them. And I find comfort in knowing that actually it's a smaller proportion of planets that have sustainable life, because that tells me that quite possibly it's not going to be the same on every planet in terms of NPC interactions, the environments, the cities that are built, and things like that. Obviously, we're going to see similar in-game content and material. Like some of the buildings, you'll probably see some repetition of buildings and objects and things. But the dialogue and the quests that are going to be involved in those planets will probably be quite diverse. Because if they've been working on Starfield this long and they've got as big of a team as they are claiming that they have, writing specific content for 100 planets and 100 environments and 100 different settlements, or assuming that there's more than one settlement on a planet, then that's a lot of work, and it's possible that could happen.
Absolutely.
I'm speaking hypothetically. I don't know. But I'm also kind of excited to see what the desolate planets are like. Like 90% of all of those planets has no life on it. How hard is it going to be to find a planet with life on it? And how alone are you going to feel in the universe for so long, and then suddenly you come across a planet where there's people and you're like, people. I think there's a possibility that it could play on our inherent human nature of wanting to be around other people. Yeah.
The words procedurally generated automatically make me very wary. I tend to not like things that are procedurally generated. Procedurally generated makes me think of the repeatable quests from Skyrim that became kind of boring. But I'm willing to give this a chance and see how it goes. Frankly, it helps that it's on Game Pass day one, because I'm not sure I would be willing to purchase the game day one.
Oh, absolutely not purchasing it day one. No, definitely not. No. But I am going to watch people play it day one. And then I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to see what bugs come up.
Yes.
I'm going to wait and see what gripes people have about it and the reviews, and then I'm going to make my decision. The decision will probably ultimately be, yes, I'm going to get it. But I'm going to put it on my wish list for a bit and wait till it goes on sale.
In other Starfield news, we have a Polygon article by Owen Good. And Owen Good reports that Starfield is an irresponsibly large game. according to Pete Hines. And Pete Hines is the head of publishing now at Bethesda. He made this comment during Thursday's hearing in federal court, where the U.S. Federal Trade Commission is seeking to stop Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. This is part of what I'm talking about, where we're getting like juicy game tidbits from this court case, from watching this court case. The point that he was making is that developing Starfield for platforms other than Microsoft's Windows PC or Xbox would assuredly mean an additional delay for this game. Under questioning by an FTC lawyer, Hines agreed that he personally supported the decision to make Starfield an Xbox console exclusive. As someone who has been playing it a lot and sees all this stuff to do, Hines said, there's no question in my mind that being able to focus on fewer platforms to support, hardware to support, has been a big benefit to that team. Starfield, by all accounts, is a very big game. Todd Howard says, we have poured ourselves into this game, and even I'm surprised at how much we can pour. The size of this game is Bethesda's reason for locking the frame rate on consoles to 30 frames per second, Howard stated after the Xbox showcase 2 weeks ago. And in that interview with Kind of Funny, he said that Bethesda Game Studios never looked at taking features away in order to deliver a performance mode option at a higher frame rate. Ultimately, look, we boil it down to we wanted the consistency, Howard told Kind of Funny Games. The game is running great, but we don't want players ever to think about it. We lean toward consistency overall, and we talk to our fans and hear that from everybody. This was also a point that Pete Hines touched on during his testimony in court on Thursday. When you're trying to figure out how to make a game look as good as it can, play as smoothly as possible, your programmers really need to know, what am I really trying to get this to run smoothly on? Is it the memory configuration? Like, there are just so many technical things that, in fairness, are way beyond my expertise. The fewer platforms that you have quality assurance testers focused on, the more rounds of testing they can do. If you have 100 people testing 2 platforms, you can put 50 on each. If you have 3, the math tells you that you have fewer people on those games. You're finding fewer problems, you're not going as fast. It's going to take longer, and it's going to cost more. So that is...
So, okay, but I don't understand what that has to do with Activision specifically.
Well, that is the argument for the console exclusivity.
I see.
Yeah, okay. That's why this was... Because, of course, as Activision... PlayStation is highly concerned that with an Activision acquisition, many Activision games would not be coming to their platform anymore. They would not be coming to PlayStation. Series like Call of Duty, which of course has been a huge seller on all platforms for many years now. And Xbox has said that they will not remove Call of Duty from PlayStation platforms, but they haven't really signed anything to that effect. And there were also promises when the Bethesda acquisition was made that there would not be exclusivity, and of course that went straight out the window.
Right.
And now we've got Starfield as a console exclusive on Xbox. So in addition to that, the Indiana Jones game that's in development will also be an Xbox exclusive. That was, I believe, also confirmed during the trials. Yes, on Thursday, it was Pete Hines who confirmed that during his testimony. And I'm not going to jump too deeply into that, but it's definitely a valid concern when we're talking about competition in the market and antitrust situations.
One problem that PlayStation has always had is their integration into the PC space.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's one thing that Microsoft has had over top of them, is this ability to play exclusives on PC because of the Xbox Store.
Mm-hmm.
And the PlayStation Store, that's not an option, right? So, I mean, if you don't want to play in the sandbox, there are natural consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And this is sort of the thing. I'm not saying what Microsoft is doing is necessarily good. But I'm also saying that PlayStation didn't exactly make any strategic moves to secure their future.
Mm-hmm.
So, or Sony, I guess I should say, but
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's all I have for news this week.
Wow, great news week.
I'm
Let's hop
exhausted.
right
That
into
was a lot.
Stocks, let's just get right into it. As always, these prices are in comparison to our previous episode 151, Starfield of Dreams. Go check it out on your podcast platforms. Sony closed out today at $85.74, up $3.03. Microsoft up $6.07, closing out at $255.29. Nintendo down just 6 cents at $9.53. Take-Two up $13.40, closing out at $116.70. Activision, $79.39, up $2.57. Ubisoft closed out at $22.89, up $1.53. EA up $3.38, closing out at $113.15. And 10-cent Games closing out $3.52 higher at $47.12. That is the stocks for this week. Don't forget to tune in next week for an update on the new prices closing next Friday. But for now, Shaline, I believe, has some
You've got mail.
Mail for us. What have you got, Shaline?
Indeed, we do have some mail. Thanks to RTZ13, who says, hello. I've got a question for you all. What are your opinions on early access games? Generally, they seem like beta versions you can pay for, but actually, I don't mind. I only purchase if I'm really interested in the game, although I rarely install them before full release. I'm glad to read early access pre 1.0 reviews of games to see players' perspectives, if it will actually get to release or be abandoned by the devs. I'm sure I'm gonna throw in this next sentence too. I'm sure I could have used less sentences, but I'm in holiday and drunk. Happy face. Edit. Spell correct was drunk too. RT said, I hope you're enjoying your holiday and getting your drink on.
Is Portugal. I think he's in Portugal.
Somewhere beautiful,
Madeira,
I'm sure.
I think. Yeah. He posted a picture of like a Slurpee on the beach or like some sort of slushy drink, which probably had alcohol in it. I threw it into the screenshots and stories, so we'll check that out in a few minutes. What do you think?
Do you want me to read the community responses before
Yes, community always goes first. Yes.
Okay. Sullivan Sevens Racing says, after reading that last line, I reread the paragraph with Biv's voice in my head. I love that.
That's great.
Biv, of course, is the drunk character from Fallout 76.
Yeah.
For me, I have never purchased an early access game. Not that I would be opposed to doing it, but I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
I'm lucky if I can get to a game the same decade it came out. And Green Camps says, for early access games, the main intention is to gauge interest, get the players to act as testers, liquid fund injections, and show how many interested parties there are to receive more investment from funds from company, corporations, or banks. As for what's my line of early access or not, friends or a community of people are involved, stability, replayability, and or nostalgia.
I think that's a balanced response.
Mm-hmm. Fire and Gasoline says same when she's responding to Sullivan 7 saying that he doesn't have much time. Fire and Gasoline says, I'm happy Fallout 5 won't be out for years to come. Maybe by then I'll have time to play it.
Yeah, if they can just like plan it for when I retire, then I'll have all the time in the world.
Right. What are your thoughts on early access, Vendor?
Well, I think Green Camps is, I mean, there was probably a time when I would have thought what he thought, that early access games are meant to serve as a proof of concept to generate funds to support the development of games. And I absolutely still support that idea if that was actually the original intent. I think that early access games have become somewhat of a red herring in video games, that we get well, I mean, Ark is a perfect example. It came out as an early access game and it it's always been an early access game. It was like it's probably out of early access now, but it was in early access for like 6 years or something.
Yes.
And I was just like, okay, is there some sort of clause, like a statute of sorts on early access? Because I think there is a fine line between supporting a game and waiting for a game to come out of early access, right? And like you could get an early access game and buy it and put money towards it to support the development of it, but if it never moves out of early access, was your investment really worth it?
Right.
And we've seen it time and time again where early access games, they get developed and released and then that's it. And oftentimes, I don't know if that's a reflection on whether or not they generated enough funds to keep going, or that they had bad financial strategies, or that they were maybe paying devs, overpaying people, and then they ran out of money and they weren't able to keep, like, I don't know, right?
Right.
And we've always been of the mindset on this show that it's important to keep the lights on and support smaller studios to make great games so that we can play them badly. But at the same time, I've lost a little bit of faith in early access.
Yeah. I do think that sometimes that early access label is used as a crutch by developers to get away with more than they could in a 1.0 release. I think sometimes that early access label is slapped on the game when it's just not ready, but it has to launch now.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I don't feel great about it. I tend to avoid early access games. I would prefer to wait until a game is in its final release, until its final release state. But frequently, games that I'm interested in while they are in early access no longer have a community by the time that they are in their full release. And sometimes the post-release version is just an absolutely different experience than the early access version. And I feel like PUBG is a really good example of that. PUBG that you and I and Rick and 4 Mile played so much of back in the day, the PUBG that we loved no longer exists. And after the game came into full release mode, it just wasn't as fun. It really wasn't. And I don't know. I'm glad that I experienced PUBG in its beta version.
I think, you make me think about, because like part of early access for PUBG was market research and evaluation of player feedback, right? And I feel like we've reached a point in game development now that early access is not really necessary, because video game development seems to be sort of like a living thing now. It's not like you create a game and you just release it and that's it. Right?
Right.
Games are being developed and then constantly updated and patched and updated, and themes and seasons and all this stuff and microtransactions. Like they've built a model of gaming that is more sustainable, whether we like it or not, because we've always been going on about why can't we have games like we did in the old days when when like you could just get a game and that was it and it was good, and now it's like, well, we may introduce this later on but we don't have time to do it now, so sorry. Like I don't know. I think early access is possibly one of the concepts in the industry that actually made me kind of lose faith in game development, maybe leading up to why I kind of stepped away from Fallout 76.
Possibly. I played an early access version of a game. I want to say it was called The Waylanders. It was a Bethesda style RPG. And I really enjoyed what I played, but they just like never finished that game. And I never got to go back to it. And that's depressing. It's just terrible. I'm scrolling through my game library here, seeing if I can find it. The Waylanders. Did this ever release?
I think the only recent...
we did reach version 1.0 in 2022. So it did eventually come out. I had completely forgotten about it by the time it came out, and I was enamored of the early access that I played, and then it was years before it came out, and I forgot about it.
There's a couple of games that I have committed to in early access still that I still play, even bashing the whole idea of early access. So Astroneer is one of them. Satisfactory, another. And let me look at... Oh, Steam, they changed it.
Yeah.
No, like they fixed the menu thing where it doesn't cover the library in the store anymore. Oh, that's great.
I know.
Satisfactory, Hard Space Shipbreakers, I think, was early access as well. And I don't know what else. I think that's it.
We've got a couple of comments in chat. Archin says, I've only purchased a couple of early access games like Minecraft, 7 Days to Die, and Ark.
Yeah.
And Taz says, Space Engineers were in early access for 8 years, and that is an amazing game. And Taz has sent us a ton of screenshots from Space Engineers. It does look pretty darn good. So
yeah, I feel like there's an equation there where early access games are super successful. And it usually is consistent with games that are massive, filled with a lot of stuff and a lot of freedom. They have more of a sandboxy approach. So if we think about that, Satisfactory, super popular, very sandboxy, open world. Ark, same thing. Space Engineers, same thing. Is Star Citizen in early access too? Because that would be
Star Citizen is in early access forever. I don't believe it's ever actually going to release.
Yeah. Kind of makes me wonder, like, story-based or narrative-based games, they don't really come out with the early access tag because they're kind of like, this is what it is, right? Like, the story is written. Like, I don't know. Great question. And, you know, the funny part is we've actually kind of talked about this at length, like, in our first 151 episodes of GameStack podcast. So, yeah. Huh.
Thanks for writing in, RT said.
How can people submit mail?
You can submit mail in a couple of ways. The first and most commonly used is by visiting our Discord server. There is a channel called #MailStack. And just drop your question right in there, and we will read and discuss it on the show. Alternately, you can send us an email to info@wejustlovegames.com, info@wejustlovegames.com. Do you love snail mail? We'll accept one of those too. Send it to GameStack, P.O. Box 396, Corona, New Mexico, 88318.
Wow. Snail mail. Okay. That's awesome. We have more to talk about what the community is playing. Everyone's favorite part of the show. Let's hop right over into that. So this first image comes to us from Alex. And she says in-game animals are the best thing ever. And she has this picture of this is, I presumably World of Warcraft.
I don't think this is Warcraft.
What is this?
Maybe playing? Diablo? I don't know. I don't know what this is.
Anyways, there's 5 people standing around, and then in the middle, a doggo. And here's another shot of her petting the doggo. So cute.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Diablo 4.
Is it Diablo? Okay. And then this one of her on the stairs with all these skellies behind her. And they're all like crowded around the stairs, falling over each other. And you know what's in the middle of the stairs blocking everything like they usually do? A cat.
I love it. The cat is laying on its back, wanting tummy rubs.
Never mind that death is on the doorstep.
Well, the skeletons are they're in this bottleneck on the stairs, plainly because they're afraid to step on the cat. Because, you know, it's a trap. You know, when the cat has its belly exposed like that, it's a trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if the skellies are afraid of the dog. Because, you know,
I think so.
Bones. You know, give a dog a bone.
gonna run off with a femur.
All right, and this picture, as I said, is RTZ's wonderful, glorious beverage in front of the beautiful islands. Excuse me, I had to sneeze there. On the ocean of Portugal, crystal blue waters.
Looks like he's having a wonderful time.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm definitely jealous. I need a vacation. Okay, and this image comes to us from Tachi Sunshine, and they said
this is a gorgeous screenshot. I
went
love this.
for a balloon ride over Vegas in Horizon Forbidden West. Started out great, did not end well, and I feel like there's a story there. But we don't actually know. But this is a great picture. Like, I wonder what some of these buildings are. Like this one here, this tower is...
That's definitely the Tops Casino.
The
Lucky 38.
I was going to say maybe like Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then maybe this one over here might be Bellagio. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Freeside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get back into Horizon. Yeah.
And we've got a heavy NCR presence in that
screenshot. And then I submitted this screenshot.
What is this? What am I looking at?
This is the adapter for... Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, the wheel.
The wheel. So Sully sent me this picture today. He said the adapter is finally complete. And if you notice, there's 2 metal bars on the side there, Shaline.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those metal bars are actually the paddle shifters that...
Nice!
They move the paddle shifters further out so that I can, when I'm on the wheel, I can actually reach them rather than trying to reach underneath.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So, super excited. He said that the last step is to put the powder coat finish on it. He's like going all out.
He's even going to powder coat these for you.
Yes.
That is fantastic.
I know. What a great friend. So thank you, Sully, for all of your hard work. And that's what the community has been up to. But let's talk about what we've been playing this week. So I have been hopping in and out of a wee bit of farm sim. I managed to cut all of my poplar trees down, which took a very long time on the weekend, and stored all my wood chips. It is now January. But before that, I was cutting some grass in December while it was snowing, which which is not uncommon for me, anyways. Definitely have cut grass in real life when it was snowing.
That sounds like some Canada as heck.
Yes. Yeah. Farm Sim's been great. It's January. I got to sell all my stuff because apparently that's when you get all the best prices in January. Did a couple of heavy hauls in ATS this week. Been nice to get back on the road. I had done a haul from Colorado all the way down to Texas. And I just love driving that highway through El Paso. It is so cool. The Texas DLC is pretty great. And then Jess and Hobbit and I hopped into the new season of Deep Rock Galactic last night. The new season we're on the fence about. So in the last season, they had this thing called the Corrupted. And it was like this plague of like diseased fungal stuff that was on these asteroids that you were mining. And you had to spray this foam on the fungus and vacuum it up. They call it the lithophage. That's what the disease is.
Okay.
Anyways, that was the part of the previous season that we hated doing. It was like super annoying and like we just didn't like it. Fast forward to this new season, they've made it the major theme of the season.
Oh no!
Why not? Because people love it so much, they thought, let's include lithophage as the core theme of this entire season for the next X amount of months. And we're like, yes! So we hopped into it last night, and it was a lot of fungus among us and foam. I was spraying foam for days, and I was diseased, and Jess was not happy about any of that.
So basically it was like a foam party.
It was kind of like a foam party, but it wasn't a fun foam party because you were like constantly on the brink of death.
Just like every foam party that I've been to. Yeah.
There is some good stuff coming out of the season, though. There is new stuff in the lobby. They have new decor. They've also added new parts to the lobby that seem to be like concrete. It's going to be here forever regardless. And they added like a mini arcade machine that is Flappy Bird. But it's called Jetty Boots, and it's you're a boot with wings, and you have to try to like fly through these like things, these pillars, right? And they're all different sizes or whatever. Yeah, it was awesome. And they added something to the outfits, to the suits that we've been asking for forever, or wanting forever, not asking. You can rip your sleeves off.
Ooh.
So when you put a suit on, if you don't like the suit with the sleeves, you can just click the option to remove the sleeves, and then you have your muscly, tattooed dwarf mining arms to show off, and it's just brilliant.
I love that.
They've added a new rainbow beer, and presumably because Pride Month, but I almost said Bride Month.
Well, I mean, June is that too.
Yeah. The rainbow beer changes your outfit randomly. But what we didn't realize, and we started a mission, we hopped in the thing, we went off to the asteroid, we land on the asteroid, we get out, we pull out our weapons, and we're like, wait a minute, this isn't my gun.
It changed your weapons too?
It changes your loadout. So this beer changes everything about like your weapons, your skill set, everything. So that could make things a little bit fun, but we were like, yeah, I don't know about this.
That sounds like a fun challenge to do. Like, I feel like that's something you should do for a Twitch stream. Like, all right, everybody drink your rainbow beer. We're going in.
Yeah. I will say, though, like with the Corrupted Season, you don't have to do the lithophage stuff. Like, you don't have to go and do missions where you've got to exterminate or clean up like this plague. You can do some of the regular missions where there isn't any of that. So naturally, there's some cosmetics in the season that we want to work towards. So you've kind of got to do some of that stuff. But yeah. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is the Wii. I dug out my old Wii.
No kidding.
And because I've had this hankering to play the new Super Mario Brothers, which arguably is not new anymore.
Yes.
But that's in the title. And as you know, New Super Mario Brothers Wii was the game that I'm a sucker. Okay. Fallout New Vegas made me buy a PlayStation 4. Fallout 4 made me buy Fallout New Vegas made me buy a PlayStation 3. Fallout 4 made me buy a PlayStation 4. New Super Mario Brothers made me buy a Wii.
Wow.
Super Mario Brothers Wonder is going to make me buy a Switch. So this is are you seeing a pattern here?
Indeed.
Anyways, I pulled out the Switch and I'm like, I'm going to hook this up to my TV and I'm going to play some Super Mario Brothers and it's going to be great. So I get all the cords out, I get everything untangled, I pull the Wii out, I blow the dust off of it, you know, I put it on behind the TV and I go to plug it in. And it's regular RCA, like the red, the yellow, and the white plugs. Well, my TV doesn't have that because it's new.
Right.
So I couldn't play Wii. I had to order an adapter on Amazon. So I ordered this adapter on Amazon. It goes into the back of the Wii and allows you to plug in an HDMI cable so that you can run the HDMI directly to your TV. So that comes in like 2 days later. I'm so excited now because I've been waiting 2 days because I haven't been. And so I set it up, I plug it in, I turn it on, the Wii menu pops up and it's got the that chime,
that
chime, right? And I'm like so excited. I pop in New Super Mario Brothers and I hear dun 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 dun, dun, and I click start and it pulls up my 3 saves. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to select number 3 and I'm going to delete it and I'm going to start from scratch.
Right.
As soon as I hit that black screen, the disc cannot be read.
No.
consult the Wii manual. And I'm like,
no.
Okay, it's probably just a bit dusty. Like, I'll blow it out with some stuff and I'll give the disc a nice wipe. So I did that. Pop it back in, same problem. And I'm like, this disc is not gonna work.
It's not great.
So I was so disheartened that I actually just like turned it off and walked away, and I haven't touched it since. And I'm still trying to come to the emotional gripes of dealing with this problem because I want to play New Super Mario Brothers so bad. And I looked on Amazon for the game, and you can get it, but it's like $370 because it's a 15-year-old game.
Oof.
Well, maybe it's not that old. 10 years?
How long is the Wii been out? It's got to be pretty old. Let's check.
The Wii's like 2009, isn't it? So we're getting on 15 years.
New Super Mario Brothers released in 2006. So we're creeping up on 20 years. That's what, 17, right? Or 18?
Okay, longer than I thought. Now I feel really old.
Mm-hmm.
And probably explains why I'm like incapable of starting this game.
Mm-hmm. So do you have any other Wii games that you'd like to check out again?
So that's the thing. I'm gonna pop in Wii Sports and some other games and see if they play. And if they do, then I know it's not the laser inside the console.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't, then I know it's the laser, and the laser needs to be replaced. And if that's the case, then I'm probably not gonna just, because it's gonna be.
Yeah, HobbitBot in the chat suggests that you should check if there are some retro game stores that can resurface CDs.
Yeah,
that might be worth looking into.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah, Hobbit actually works at a mom and pop game shop. So Hobbit, if you could keep your eye out for a version of New Super Mario Brothers, that would be great.
Is that region locked? Were Wii games region locked?
I don't think so.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's Nintendo, so probably, but yeah. Anyways, that's my gameplay.
That's great. Well, I don't have much gameplay to speak of. I had a busy week. I had a week. And the only gaming session I had was that Fallout 76 just before the show that I checked out with Archon. So I did some of the new homework. I did all the dailies for today and met the new cryptids. And I feel like we've really talked about my gameplay a bit already in the Fallout segment earlier. I was excited about having some new characters and lore, and I am really looking forward to exploring this new content a little bit deeper, checking out those Vinny costed daily quests, and there's a new checklist of plans and items to collect, so that's definitely fun. But I noticed that Steam had a major update. The Steam launcher, the Steam platform, and it looks very different. And I'm not sure how I feel about it. They've changed the fonts a bit. There's like video that pops up, like streaming video that pops up in the store when you click on a game. It's a very, I feel like it's a bit of a dramatic change in the Steam launcher, and I'm adjusting.
Yeah, it's going to take some adjustment. I did notice that they when I opened it while we were talking, there was an update. And they actually, so you know when you open Steam and on the top it says store, library, community event, and then your username. Well, when they originally ran the first update, when you hovered over those things, that menu that pops up actually covered the word, and so you couldn't actually click on the library. You had to click on something in the menu. So I kept clicking on like collections or downloads and not actually going to my library, and it was so annoying. And I'm like, oh my god, I hope they fix this. It looks like they fixed it.
That's good. That's very good.
I don't hate Steam as much now.
Well, we were playing Fallout 76, and Archon had to log off and get ready to go to work, and one of his trading cards, his Fallout 76 trading cards, had popped up, and he was like, oh man, I didn't get the space station. I never get the space station. And I thought, well, aren't those tradable? I bet I have the space station. And I look, and sure enough, I've got 3 of the space stations. I'm like, okay, how do I trade you the space station? And he comes around the table to my computer, and he's showing me around these menus and stuff. And he says, hey, you can rank this up. And I'm like, you can what? And he's like, yeah, you can get a badge. And he shows me that I can trade in one of each of my 10 Fallout 76 cards to get a badge. And now I have a badge, and it came with some rewards,
a
little icon. Like? The badge is a walking vault boy with like a golden outline around him.
Okay.
And it's called Walking Tall.
Nice.
Yes. And I got really excited about this vendor. I know I'm a little bit late to the party here with the Steam trading cards. They've had these for a long time, but I didn't know that you could do stuff with them. I didn't know there was a reason to collect them. And now I feel like I could get super into trading these cards with my Steam friends. So if you would like to trade like Steam cards, I'm Kid Shaline on Steam, KIDSHALINE, no spaces. And I feel like I could get super into Steam trading cards and the mini game of ranking them up. And I feel like that could be really fun. I had no idea that there were things you could do with the Steam cards.
I love it.
And I felt like I would get kind of annoyed when they would pop up because they would add a notification to my notifications. And like, I didn't like it. But now I like it, and I want them, and I want more of them. And yeah, so I feel like I may have a new addiction now.
Excellent. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's gonna be, we should have a channel for that. Mm-hmm. For Steam trading cards for all games. Yes. Just a general channel. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be fun. So anyway, I guess that's really all my gameplay for the week.
Excellent. Well, that's a show, everyone. So thank you all for listening. Don't forget, the show is sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. If you head on over to oakandcrow.com, you can pick up a bag of We Just Love Coffee blend, and $2 from every purchase of that blend goes to the Children's Miracle Network. You can email us, mail at info@WeJustLoveGames, or Shaline said, if you want to send by snail mail, just review the show 30 minutes ago. And
it's usually in the show notes as well, in the liner notes.
Or you can send us a direct message in the MailStack channel in our Discord. We are also on social media. We Just Love Games. Shaline at ShaleneL, myself at VendortronN. On Facebook, facebook.com/WeJustLoveGames, facebook.com/group/WeJustLoveGames. Also, if you want to connect into our Discord, scroll right down below on our Twitch page, and you will find the link there in the About section. We are also on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and any other podcast platform you can think of. Please like, subscribe, and review the show. We love to hear what you think. Actually, we did have some pretty good reviews this past week.
No, we didn't have reviews, but we had a bunch of YouTube
comments. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Yes. Yeah. So if you would like to leave us a comment, please do so. We love to hear from you. Thank you all for listening. And Shaline, the last word is yours.
I feel like Elephant Mario would be a better plumber than Human Mario.